Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about disconnection in that first takeaway movement. I have for you a little bit of word of warning. I see a lot of golfers create a forward press. Maybe you are, but it could be causing those takeaway issues, and I'm going to explain why right now. So it can be a good thing, a forward press, because a lot of people use it as a trigger. Now, what is a trigger? It's just something that helps us start the golf swing. So we need our brain to kind of switch on to engage. We don't want a lot of static time over the ball. So a number of golfers, they're set up ready to go, press, go. Now, a trigger is great as long as there's not a lot of static time then stood over the ball. So we want to do it and then move the golf club. But if you are creating a forward press, it can create some disconnection of what the arms are doing to what the body's doing. And one of the most common faults I see and golf coaches around the world see is in that takeaway movement where their players get their lead arm working too far away from the body, creating a lot of roll with the forearms and the wrists here. And often that's causing, or all the time in fact, that's causing that club face to get behind the player and open. So it's this type of movement. Forward press, disconnecting arms. And in that first move, you'll see a big gap between the back of my lead arm and my chest. And that's causing a lot of roll and rotation the club to move to the inside because it's opposites. If the arms and the hands move out, the club will tend to do the opposite and move more in. And players really suffer because they get that club face a long way open. Now, they could try and compensate in the downswing, but it's inconsistent golf. What I like to see in that first movement is some connection of our lead arm across our chest. Now, it's not going to stay there the whole way. There has to be a little bit of lifting. If I kept that gap, my swing would be incredibly short, tight, flat. Okay, but in that first movement, it's great to have some connection of that lead arm across your chest. So as I said, that forward press is something to watch for because it can cause some disconnection of the arms to the body. If you just follow me along with a couple of simple exercises, we're going to hold a cane up the side of the golf club. It's going to go under your lead armpit. So it's going to go under there. I'm just going to hold the club as best as I can. And I want to, in that first takeaway movement, feel like this cane stays in contact with my body. It moves alongside my body here. Pretty simple one, but this is a great one for connection in that takeaway movement here, whereas we often see this type of movement with golfers. This cane starts pointing a long way away from the body. Now, another simple way of using it is just across your chest, under your arms. So we're almost pinning in just above our elbows. And the idea is keep it in that first takeaway movement. We call this position 2 of the golf swing, and the club is parallel to the ground. I want to keep it to that point. It is going to drop, but it's going to drop after that. So keep it to there. And also I like this because it starts getting my shoulders feeling like they're creating some tilt. You will see that the lead side moves down and in front of me. The trail side of the stick moves up and behind me. So it's creating some tilt, whereas I get a lot of golfers too flat, too horizontal in that first move. So it's there, and then it drops, okay? So I'm rotating and lifting my arms to the top of the golf swing, but I'm not creating disconnection and losing that club face control in that first movement. Now, there's no reason, I might not hit it brilliantly, but there's no reason why we couldn't do that as a drill. It can be a little off-putting. Maybe you want to do it off a small tee, but let me give it a go. I'm going to keep it to here. It's going to drop after that. Actually, I struck that great. I don't know, yeah. Has gone a little left on me, and this is quite a punishing hole. But really happy with the contact. And you'll have seen there from the downline camera the connection and at what point that cane then started to drop from my arm. So I love that. The cane, 2 cane exercises. One with it just up the side of the golf club under your lead arm, and the other one with it across your chest, trying to keep it there for the first movement. I have one other exercise just in case you don't have an alignment stick with you, very much along the same lines. So you're going to set up. You're then going to let your trail arm, that's my right arm for me as a right-handed golfer, fall off the golf club. I'm just going to move it slightly forwards, okay? Just a little bit. So I can, if I had a mirror behind me, just see my lead hand. And I want to take the club away and feel like I move it underneath this trail hand and trail arm. So fall off, slightly forwards, lead arm connection just to that first movement. Now what do we see there? Lots of connection, back of lead arm across the chest, elbow quite close to my body. We see the club is slightly outside my hands, and we'll also see that the leading edge of the golf club is matching my back angle. That's a great thing. So many golfers suffer with that club face getting open, the toe up in the air, or worse still, the club face, the loft starting to point up. And from there, they will struggle because they have to use a lot of manipulation through impact. So it's a vital part to improve that club face connection, or the club face position, through the lead arm connection. So what I'm going to do, whether I do a forward press or not, I am going to try and sense the lead arm connection. And maybe if you are someone who is disconnecting in that first movement, if you have that takeaway fault, rather than the forward press, try this as your trigger. So set up to the ball, rehearse that takeaway move. When the club comes back to the ball, then start your swing. So use that rehearsal as your trigger. So I'm ready to go. Rehearse, check, club back, hit. And that can really help that connection of that lead arm across that chest in that first movement. It is such a vital part of the golf swing that so many golfers are getting wrong. Don't be one of them. If that video does help, make sure you smash the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content just like this.